Part 33. Let's talk about weather. Question 1. Do you trust the weather forecast? Which weather forecast is the most accurate, and how often do they get it right? I often don't follow the weather forecast unless I have an important day coming up the day after, so tomorrow, the day after today. So I would only check the weather if I had a trip planned somewhere, either a local trip, like if it was a picnic and I was traveling outside, I would then check the weather forecast 24 hours just to see if everything will be happening. Recently, though, now I have actually filmings and shoots that are happening outside, so often the schedule can change if the weather changes the day before. So I sometimes have to check the weather to see if the possibility of something will be canceled or not. Which forecast do I most think is accurate? I usually just actually use the Google Weather app because my phone is easily accessible, so I could just ask it very quickly. Even just it's using like, okay Google, what's tomorrow's weather? Or asking, okay Google, what's the date? What weather is this going to be on a certain day? I can ask very quickly instead of just logging in to a website, searching through it and typing it. So
this came back from Google.
So I use my Google to I ask my Google what the weather will be like, and it's able to tell me what the weather will be very quickly. Is it accurate? Usually it is accurate. I leave a very strong Google print on there, so I update my location a lot and I leave markers, so it's able to find out where I am as well as give me an accurate weather for the areas that I often travel to. Question number 2. Do you feel different because of the weather? And how do different types of weather affect your emotions? Yes, I would say like I'm an empath. So like the feelings and the emotions of the area of the environment that I'm in affect my emotions personally themselves. So if the weather is rainy, for example, then I actually feel a little sad. I don't feel motivated. For me, cold weather actually doesn't really make me feel down or sad or depressed. It kind of makes me shrink a little bit, and like stronger and stubborn and just like very closed mouth, very reclusive. So if I'm going somewhere, I'm just going to be marchy. I'm going to be more quiet, but I actually enjoy being outside in the cold weather. For me, but sunny weather affects my emotion too, so I feel more motivated. I feel more energy. I feel also happier if the sun's on me. I have this urge to do more things outside, to be shine. I guess it's from the vitamin D that you get from sun, or vitamin E, I'm not too sure. But yeah, like those vitamins enter in my body, help me feel better. So yeah, usually like good weather, it allows me to feel better. Well, weather that are either like drizzly or cold make me feel much sadder. Question number 3. Would you rather live somewhere that is dry and hot all year round, or in places that have clearly different seasons, or in some other kinds of climates? For me, I would choose a place that has, usually places that are hot and dry have 2 different seasons. They have the hot and dry season and then the rainy season. I would rather actually live in a place that has the 4 seasons. I grew up in Toronto. Toronto has 4 seasons. Some seasons last longer than other seasons. The weather patterns are much different. But experiencing the 4 types of seasons allows me to kind of like have like 4 different things to look forward to every year. So yeah, winter, snow, but then having experience in the cold weather is not that bad for me. Then you have in Toronto, spring. Spring is the rainy season, so it's wet everywhere basically. This is where when the snow starts to melt in the middle of April, but then also there's lots of rain that comes, and like it was like April showers bring me flowers. So like it's also rainy, but also you still have, that's also when all the snow is melting. So that's the rainy period. Summers in Toronto are beautiful. So the weather is usually around 26 to 29 degrees on hot days, but everything, because of all the rain patterns, all the trees and flowers are in bloom. So it's a very vibrant and colorful place to be in. But then also that even transitions into the fall. The fall in Toronto, that's when the leaves change, and also then that's when you have your autumn colors. So your bright reds and yellows and oranges in the trees, as all the flowers and leaves are getting ready and are dying and getting ready to fall. It has, almost this peaceful like thing. So for me, like I love the weather that is the 4 seasons, and probably the best places are like Toronto is known for its 4 seasons minus the rain. Question number 4: have you ever been caught in the wrong clothing for the weather conditions? What happened? Often, while as a child, me and my friends, we never really actually carried an umbrella around. Umbrellas were very uncommon. We would have boots to keep our feet dry, but we wouldn't really have our raincoats, but we never really carried umbrellas. So often, as a child, a weather condition I got caught in would be like a sudden downpour, a sudden heavy rain. But even that, like, if you're going to get wet, you might as well enjoy it. So once I was caught in the rain and I was wet, I would just actually stay out and play in the rain more. While here, people here carry rains and they're more conscious of what the weather might be. Still, like I often get caught without an umbrella. So I'm still caught by the same weather patterns I was as a child. Like rain often catches me and I get very wet, and then I have to rush home for changing my clothes. The only difference is when I was a child, I just actually would play in the rain more often and just live in the moment. Usually I'm not really caught in other types of weather patterns. So when it suddenly becomes cold, it doesn't really bother me that much. I just am able to endure it. People say it's because I'm Canadian. When it becomes suddenly hotter, I could just take off some layers of clothes. I usually dress in multi-layers anyways. So really being caught in a hotter weather is just causes me to take off my jacket or my sweater and carry it around. Question number 5. Is there any activity you want to do in the spring or summer? These days, I'm more active, so an activity I would like to do more of would be swimming. As a child, I would often go swimming a lot in the spring and the summer. I would like, just go to a park, like a comfortable park area where I could just lay out, have a picnic. Usually a picnic for me goes hand in hand with swimming. So these days, maybe I would like to go either the spring and the summer to the beach with my friends, just hang out on a mat at the beach, chit chat, play some games, maybe have some beers, and also do swimming. So I want to do more of that. I'm not really a hiker myself. It's something also I'd like to do is more fishing. So again, something water side, something I want to do this spring and summer. Question number 6. Is there any activity you want to do in the fall and the winter? So I'm going to answer this as if I was in Korea, because the fall and the winter here are very similar, opposed to Canada, where the fall is cool while the winter is very cold and has lots of snow. So in Korea, something I would like to do in the fall and the winter outside, maybe ride a bike, go traveling down south. By this time, the water would be too cold to go swimming in, but fishing would be a possibility still. Also in the fall, I would probably like to make some kimchi, do kimjang. That's usually the time the harvest time, where all the Korean elderly people make kimchi, I would like to try that outside. I know it's an outside activity and it seems like it would be fun. Do you feel different depending on the seasons? Yes, I do. Each season I have a different type of emotion. So for me, we'll start with winter. Winter, because the weather is getting colder and people are spending more time indoors, I have this feeling of like trying to be in a couple and trying to spend more time. If I have to be reclusive inside, I would like to share that time inside doing activities with a partner. So in the springtime, the weather's starting to get warmer. So at this time, I would like to do more activities, visit places, stores, areas inside the city that I haven't been able to travel to because of the weather not being great. Shopping, going to markets is something I would like do these activities. So that emotion, I have this urge to go and catch up on things that I've missed. So more of exploration, curiosity. In the summertime, now I'm feeling more energetic because the weather is much better and I wanted to be doing more activities. Probably I've been focusing in the fall, in the winter, in the spring, trying to lose weight and look good. So in this time, I want to almost like peacock. I want to show off like a better body and enjoy the weather and be very energetic and active. Then in the fall, it's very similar to the spring. In Korea, it's more curiosity. So going around, window shopping, exploring areas that might have changed in the last 6 months, catching up on trends. So this is more again, but also I'm thinking about other people in the fall too, because the fall is a lot of in Canada, that's where Thanksgiving is, as well as people are getting ready for the Christmas season. So it's like more family oriented things. So that's where I'm thinking more caring about other people, caring about my friends and my family more. So those are the 4 different seasons and how I have different emotions throughout them. Question number 8. What do you usually do when it rains? Usually these days when it rains, it depends on where I am when it starts to rain. If it's raining in the morning, I would be staying at home until either the rain stopped or until I had to do a chore that was specific for that day, go to a place for either work or an audition or whatnot. If I know it's going to rain and I could go outside before it rains, I'd probably go to the gym for a couple hours and then plan activities close by and just jump from location to location so I don't have to spend much time out in the rain getting wet. So it all depends on the time of day that the rain happens, when the rain ends, and what I have to do that day, really, of the rain. Question number 9. What is your favorite season? My favorite season, I would say, is actually fall. Fall, October is my favorite month. Being Canadian, October has both Thanksgiving Day, where it's the day that people gather, they're thankful, but also they have a feast and feel happy together, as well as I'm a big fan of still, even though I'm an adult, Halloween. So Halloween's a day where people also gather, they dress up, they try to, wear something that displays their personality. Like all the days that all the 353 days of the year, they've just been dressing in regular clothes, but that one day is when they can dress up. Dress as a character that they've been thinking about, or from a TV show that they've been watching, and just imagine almost and relax and have fun. As well, being from Canada, fall is when the leaves change. So it's also and that's something that Canada is very famous for. It's autumn foliage. As well as, for me, the weather of the fall pleases me the most. It's not, I don't mind the cold. I'm really not someone that likes hot summer weather. Well, the fall is cool. So I would say most of my clothing is like fall clothing. So like long pants, like hooded jackets, long sleeves, sweaters, hoodies. These are the clothes I feel the most comfortable in. The weather is it's not too windy, it's not too cold, but also like in Canada it's a very dry time. I don't like being wet, obviously, no, who does? So just because all the things that happen, the weather, holidays, the events, even the colors, the atmosphere of fall are the things that really appeal to me. That's why I think I like this season the most. Hi everyone that's watching this. My name is Jeff. I am from Toronto, Canada. I've been coming to Qualcomm now for 2 years now. It's an amazing environment. I've met so many important people here. The atmosphere is great and friendly. There's not just Korean people trying to learn the English language, but there's also international people here too, trying to learn other international languages. I've met people from China studying Korean that I've also been able to speak Korean with. There's also groups of people that are studying Spanish here as well. It's just such an amazing thing. That's why I've been coming here for 2 years. So if you're interested in meeting not just the local people in Korea, but also international people that have international interests and want to share their culture, you should come to Qualcomm.